Jai Hind everyone, welcome to the Patriotic IAS. Let's start our the Hindu class analysis, and we will start with this the topic that we are going to cover for the today's discussion. We will start with this Kheda flogging. There has been the incidents where there has been case of the atrocities against the minorities. Few of the individual were beaten, and they were flogged on the some of the allegation, and that's why it has entered into the Supreme Court, and this is done by the police. So police, it comes into the police atrocity, and already there is guideline with respect to the procedure for the police arrest. So it will come under the GS paper 2 as well as GS paper 1. GS paper 1 because it took place in the Kheda. Kheda is very important in our historical perspective, and GS paper 2 because it is against the right of individual, as we have provided that there are the case how it should be the what should be the procedure after the arrest, and how different things should be followed. So this will be the first topic that we will cover. After that, there is the further development in the Maldives and India relationship. Maldives has denied that they have provided the access of Chinese visual for the research, but this is just for the some of the port on call things, just replacing replenishment of the this ship, not for the research or the survey. So it comes under the GS paper 2. Then we will discuss this Bharat Ratna that has been announced for the Karpoori Thakur. Under the GS paper 1, post independence India, it's his contribution. What is his major contribution, where it's belong the ideology of Karpoori Thakur. After that, we will study about the is right to establish minority institutes based on the statute. So here we will study that the Article 30, how it's provide for the minority, what are the major guideline with respect to the establishment of the minority institution, and how the Supreme Court is observing this thing. This is ongoing. This case is being heard into the Supreme Court, and final guideline is it to come when the final verdict of this case will come. So we will wait, but we will know that what tomorrow, what is told, the questioned. After that, the birth anniversary of Netaji Subhas and Bose is celebrated at the Parakaram Divas. So this comes under the GS paper 1 history. We will try to know the major events with respect to the Netaji Subhas and Bose. After that, there is the demand for the sixth schedule from the Ladakh. Some of the regional group are asking. So we will try to know some basics about the sixth schedule, GS paper 2. After that, there is the science and technology page that is talking about the neutron, star, and pulsar. So this is from the GS paper 3, basic science. Just we will know the basic about the neutron, star, and pulsar that has been provided in the news article. And after that, avian navigation. There is very curious thing that how the bird go out of its nest way, how it comes back to the same place, despite they don't have the location, GPS, different thing that we have. We have different technology, but still we find very difficulty to reach destination. But these animals doesn't have anything, but they exactly go thousands of miles away from their nest, and they come again. So how this is possible? This is very mystery that we will try to know. Interesting thing, GS paper 3, basic science. After that, we will study the Indo-Pacific, the development that is going with the Chinese aggressive behavior and Chinese strategy in the Indian Ocean region. We will try to locate the places. After that, we will study about the border security force. Again, this is already going on. Already we have studied few of the new thing that has been provided in the 2 days editorial. We will try to cover that. So these are the editorial from the editorial page. This Indo-Pacific and border security force, as well as the truth about the India booming toy export. So we will the article analyze that what is the reason behind the increase in export from the India in the toy sector. Further, it is the next page, opinion page, is discussing the semiconductor design linked incentive that has this scheme is provided has been announced by the Indian government. So what are the impact? What are the drawback that is there. So this will be helpful. This semiconductor design incentive scheme, this and this truth about the booming toy export. So these are both from the GS paper 3 economy section, and in the economics they are particularly from the manufacturing sector. So manufacturing sector is very crucial for India. So we will try to know that how the development is taking place in this manufacturing sector. So it is GS paper 3. And next is the rising gap in income. So here we will focus on the Gini coefficient, how the Gini coefficient has changed, and the basics about that, because in the prelims they ask such basic question. So you should be clear about what is the Gini coefficient represent, how it's changed, and the change in the indicator, what it's convey. Then last we will study about the gender equity in the education, GS paper 1. Particularly it is with the society. This has also GS paper 2 angle of the education sector, but it is talking about the vulnerability due to the gender. So we will study it under the GS paper 1. So this is all about. So let's start with the first news without doing any delay. So we will start with this. Kheda flogging incident is a case of police atrocities. Under this, the police arrested 4 people, they tied them in the pole and they flogged. So this was in the public, and yes, they were the 4th individual are alleged for something, but the police only has the power to arrest and investigate, not do any of the violence or any of the such action that is not constitutional or not as per our fundamental rights. So this is against the judgment, the guideline that has been provided under the DK Basu judgment. So this is very important judgment. You should understand this DK Basu judgment. This talks about what are the behavior that is needed, what are the things, procedure that is needed to taken by the police. So you should know your rights as well. This is right for the every person. Very few people know that you shouldn't be ever fearing to the police, because police doesn't have power to harass you or anything that is against the law and regulation. So what are the things that is provided? So this guideline by the Supreme Court, DK Basu, provide few of the things that you should remember, and you can use it whenever you are talking about the Article 20 as well. So guideline to arrest and detention. So it's talk about that whenever there is the arrest, during the arrest, and yes, this is what the police were expected to do, recording of the arrest. So police need to prepare a memo of arrest. Okay. So there should be the memo of the arrest, where the time when the person is arrested, and also whether the family member of the arrested person has been communicated or not. There is also need to provide the legal assistance whenever the person is produced, and whenever the person is questioned. So legal assistance should be provided. A right to legal representation. Okay. Also there is need for the medical examination. Okay. So medical examination within 2 hours of the arrest. This is necessary. Notification of arrest for the friend and the relative. So there is need to communicate all this thing to the friend and family that your family member has been arrested. This is the charge. You have to come and you have to provide the legal services. Even if you don't have the family member, the government provide the legal services to represent that individual. This judgment explicitly prohibited the torture and cruel inhuman behavior. So you should remember this. This talks about that the police can only arrest, and they can send they can investigate, and after that they will provide the judiciary with the different inputs so that the further legal process can be attended. 3 degrees not allowed. So every person should know their rights. Next important thing that is talk about, yes, so you should know in the Gujarat, this Supreme Court has said that whatever the Gujarat police has done with respect to this for individual, this is not acceptable. And law doesn't permit use of the third degree methods to the torture or of accused in the custody during the interrogation or investigation. Even the police said that we didn't have the knowledge of this D.K. Basu judgment or the guidelines. So Supreme Court said that it is responsibility of the each the police officer to know this what are the guidelines still about. So this is also being they these police officers are also persecuted by the National Human Rights Commission. So you should know about the responsibility of Human Rights Commission. Here you can give the whenever you are whenever the question is with respect to the Human Rights Commission. So Human Rights Commission is investigating this case as well. So you should give example of this Kheda flogging. So whenever Kheda comes, Kheda is very important. So here it is important with the history. When the Gandhiji come into the India, and he started his satyagraha from the Champaran, Ahmedabad, and after that it was the Kheda. So Kheda is also important with respect to the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. So what was the Kheda Satyagraha? This was the first time the non-cooperation, some indicators of non-cooperation was found into the Gandhian movement. It was not at the all India level, it was the non-cooperation movement 2020, but it is the Kheda where he experimented the first time, this non-cooperation in India. Already non-cooperation was tested by the Gandhi into the South Africa as well. So in the Indian case, the first time at the regional level. What was the case? The case was that in the Kheda, there was the crop failure. Kheda is a place in the Gujarat. Just let me show you where is the Kheda. Kheda, yes. Okay, Kheda is where is this? This. Okay. Kheda, Rajkot, and Rajkot from you. I think Kheda was, yes, Kheda here. Is it visible? This is Kheda, very close to Nal Sarovar. This is the bird sanctuary. This is also very important for the wetland and the birds that migrate from the foreign country to the India. So this is the Kheda here. The movement took place here, and here the farmers was not able to pay the taxes because there was the crop failure due to the drought. So you should remember this Nal Sarovar as well. Very important bird sanctuary. This comes under the this Ramsar Convention as well. Other thing, if we have opened the map, you should also that this is the little run of the Kutch. This is also a wildlife sanctuary. Important thing you should also remember is the Narayan Sarovar. This is also bird sanctuary. And here you must have heard this Daman and Diu. Daman and Diu are here. Just they are the a part. In the middle there is the Gulf of the Khambat. Is it clear? This is the shape we always see into the map. So this shape, this gap is for the Gulf of Khambat, and this is for the Gulf of Kutch. Remember this. Locate in your mind. Dwarka is here. I think the next attempt should be to make the temple here, because this is associated with the our prime god, and here there is no tussle. So I think the temple should have first constructed here, because here there is no tussle for the land even. Here the Daman and Diu. So you should remember, and Dadra Nagar Haveli. Again, this is the union territories. So these are the three union territories. These are the important places you should remember. Gir forest. The only place where the lion found in the India is here. So I hope you have located Kheda is here. And here the farmers were not able to pay the tax, and as per the law by the British colonial, that whenever there will be the failure of the crop, that is the 1/4 of the normal crop. Means if in the normal annual season, where the everything is fine and the crop production is 100 kilometers from the 1 hectare of the farmland, And if there is a drought or anything, instead of 100 quintal, it is lesser than the 25 quintal, then there will be the there will be the remission in the into the revenue. Remission means either they will reduce this revenue to the very low level, or they will remit, means they will not ask for the tax. So this was the case. This was the but when the pigeons went to the colonial power and they asked that please remit our revenue, so they ignored, they didn't abide, and they threatened farmers that we will seize your property, seize farmers' property. So that's why Gandhiji came, intervene here, and he said that please don't non-payment of the taxes. Okay. So yes, Gandhiji was not directly leading this. On the ground, it is being implemented by the leader like the our Sardar Patel and Narhari Parikh is also very important. Please remember all these freedom fighters: Mohanlal Pandey, Ravi Shankar, Vyas. Okay, these are the leaders who took the lead. Okay, and they also supported these farmers. Even the villagers nearby, they supported each other. And after that, government agreed, and they agreed that for this year, when the drought condition is that we will not take the revenue, and for the next year, for the few next year, we will reduce this revenue. Okay, and also return all the confiscated property. So you should remember. Next important news that we are going to take is with respect to this development in the Maldives. Okay, so what is the development? We saw this Ziyang Hong 3. This is the ship that was proceeding towards the Malay. Now the Malay is telling that this ship is coming to the Maldives, but this is not for the research and survey. This is just for the replenishment. Replenishment means when this is the port of call thing. Port of call is like the service provided to rest, refuel, and do other thing. Just refueling and other thing at the port means whenever you go through the bus or the train, there are the bus stands. Where the bus stops and it takes the fuels, and the passenger takes it's a different, if they want to take something to eat or something to drink, all this thing. Okay, so all this thing is there. Next important thing that we are going to, yes, you should know this hydrographics survey, that is military in the nature. India is also doing. So India say that it is for the peaceful purpose and not for the military purpose. It is for the civilian purpose. But yes, there has been the military use, and that's why India opposed. But in our case, our history, our precedent is that we have never done such thing. So that's why you cannot question. But Chinese do always. That's why we question Chinese motive. The thing is also that this Maldives has placed to Chinese to enhance its relation with China strategic ties. So that's why it is also cause of concern for India if the relation is growing in that level. So what will happen to ours? Very important development is with respect to the Bihar, and here Karpoori Thakur, he is also known as the Jannayak. So you should know that who is the Jannayak and who is the Loknayak. Loknayak is the Jayaprakash Narayan, and all these people are the socialist leaders. Lohia, Jannayak, Karpoori Thakur, and Jayaprakash Narayan. So Jannayak and Loknayak, there could be the confusion. Both belong from the Bihar, and he has a very great personality. He lead Bihar in 1977 at the time of emergency. Okay, and it was non-Congress government at that particular time. He started from the Kranti Dal, Bharatiya Kranti Dal, and later to the Janata Party. Okay. So he is considered as the first person who started with this OBC reservation, and he brought the Mungeri Lal Commission report, and he talks about to implement this. He belongs from the Nai caste, the barbers. So they are the one of the weaker section, marginalized and backward section. So he first started, later it was the Mandal Commission. That's why he is also known for the leader of the weaker section, leader of the OBC and backward. Here the Modi ji has provided us so much point with respect to write about him. So he has given, so you can use him as your ethics paper as well. In the ethics paper, you can talk about the leadership and the leadership with the their own inculcating the things within their own behavior and do the things in the ground, not just about to the talking. So he was the person, he has given that how much he was dedicated to the ground level. So yes, one condition was there. There was a meeting, and here he was Thakur was about to join. So his the kurta was very old, and it was a tattoo at time. So Chandrasekhar ji said, the Chandrasekhar that to become later the prime minister. He was the prime minister candidate for the when there was the uh, after the BP Singh government. Chandrasekhar was the prime minister for the short time. So Chandrasekhar ji said that yes, to the people, please donate the money so that Karpoori Thakur can buy a new kurta. So yes, Karpoori Thakur take all the money, but he submitted all this money to the Chief Minister Relief Fund so that the poor can be helped by this money. So this is the case, and even his house was very normal. Even when he died, the people went for the giving some paying some tribute. So they saw the condition of his house, despite he was being the chief minister, but he done nothing for his own sake. So that's why he is known as the Jan Nayak. Okay, so his main ideology was to create a society where resources were distributed fairly and everyone, regardless of their social standing, and everyone had the access to the opportunities. This is the exact definition of socialism. If you want to know the definition of socialism, this is the socialism, to create a society where resources were distributed fairly and everyone, regardless of their social standing, and has access to the opportunity. It means that if there is the person, 10 person working in the field, every person has the equal amount of the land there. If they are going to they are getting some payment, salary, so it should be as per their work, not as per their status, and everyone should have the opportunity to go to the schools, college, and everyone should have the opportunity to get the legal services as well as the health services on the reasonable cost. This is all theory and the ideology of the socialism. So you should know this a major leader of this socialism like the Jayaprakash Narayan and the Ram Manohar Lohia. They were also very much close to the Karpoori Thakur. Karpoori Thakur also talk about the democracy debate and a discussion. So he didn't means harass, misuse his power when he was chief minister, as we generally see, and he gave the free hand for the opposition leader to criticize him. He was proponent of education in local language, okay, and so the people from the small town and village could climb the ladder to attain success. Okay, again this is the features of the socialism. So there is a lot of things. Okay, so Modi ji is telling that we are also doing on the same line. We provide, so you could have some of the points whenever you have to write what is the government is doing for the weaker section. So government is providing mudra loan so that the person from the OBC and SC/ST community get enter into the business and the production sector. Besides that, government also provided the constitutional status of this OBC commission. So you can also write 2 points to get for to write whenever the question is with respect to the what the government is doing for the weaker section. So I hope this is very clear. So you should know about the Karpoori Thakur, and this is all about. Very much important. You should know this commission that he first implemented. Okay, this Mungeri Lal commission. The name is you can Remember this name because Mungeri Lal, there was some TV serial as well. So Mungeri Lal Commission, so easy. Okay. There was famous serial TV series on this. So Mungeri Lal Commission was also for the OBC. It's talk about the positive action for the OBC. Next important news that we are going to take that is relevant. You should just know that this Ashtamundi Lake is again in the Ramsar convention list, and also it is the second largest this wetland after the Vembanad. They are all near to the famous Alleppey. You all must be knowing Alleppey, na? That is the tourist destination. You all after the Goa, you must want to go to the Alleppey. So this Ashtamundi Lake, you should remember. The second thing you should remember is this. This tusker is known as the Padayappa. They are the wild tusker. They are known as the Padayappa in the Kerala, Idukki district. Beside that, this Munnar is also famous destination in the Kerala, and their Kerala government is developing. Just you should know, Munnar and Vagaman, they both are the same. They are in the Kerala. Next important thing you should know is this. The Supreme Court is in the Aligarh University case. The Supreme Court is hearing about the challenge that what is the ground that should be taken when you are going to provide some of the institution as the minority institution status. So before that it was that the if it is made there is already Supreme Court judgment. Previously it is given in the S. Aziz Basa case, and it was in 1967. Here the Supreme Court said that if there is uh, any university that has been established under the Central Government Act or the statute, so it will be not given as the minority status. The second thing is that here the Chief Justice asked that even the right to establish such institution or university would be contingent to the state recognizing it through an enabling act. It means that if you are asking that yes, there always the status will be given under the state recognition. If the fundamental rights under Article 30 already take about the minority has the right to establish its own educational institution, and again you creating second condition that government need to bring some law and bring some authority under that the minority institution should be established. So are not you are making that this fundamental rights under the this law made by parliament? Okay, are you able to get that? The Supreme Court is telling that already if there is the fundamental rights, and this is asking that if this is the fundamental right, okay, fundamental rights Article 30, and it say that yes, minority can establish an institute by their own, and you are talking no, there should be the law and authority under that it should be. So you are making the law above this. When the fundamental right is already telling that yes, there should be the right of the minority. So if you tell that no, there should be the authority and law above this, when it should be this minority institution should be established. So what is the meaning of this? This power is nullified. Na? That is the being challenged and discussed in the Supreme Court. Let's see that what is the final judgment. So the government is telling that this law is important because if recognition will be there will be the proper way to the course of the study, award of the degrees. These all will be regulated, and their standards will be high. So government is judiciary is telling okay, everything is right. If there is the authority and your law is there, you will provide everything. But you are not superseding the constitutional right. You are not making the constitutional right under your authority and law. This is the question that is going on. Let's see what is the final judgment. So this is under GS paper 2, Article 30. Next important news that we will take is this with respect to the Parakaram Divas. So 23 January. 23 January is the is celebrated as the birth anniversary of the Subhash Chandra Bose. So you should know about the Subhash Chandra Bose. So you should start with that. Subhash Chandra Bose and Jawaharlal Nehru, two were known as the Young Turk and young socialist from the Congress group. So they both have the same ideology of socialism. They wanted to bring a system such as where the state can command the resources and provide equality to the common people and equal opportunity for all. That was the main ideology of both of this personality. Okay, after that you should know that it is the Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose. They were jointly set up the independence for the Indian League. When they were not agreed on the Nehru report in 1928, they disagreed on the report because this report talked about the dominion status and they want full independence, and that's why they made the independence for the Indian League. So you should know, if the question comes, that who set up this independence for the Indian League, it is the Jawaharlal Nehru and the Subhash Chandra Bose. Second important thing you should know that Subhash Chandra Bose was the Congress president during the Haripuri and Tripuri session, and there was the debate between the Gandhiji and the Subhash Chandra Bose, and after that the Subhash Chandra Bose set up the forward block. So you should also remember, when he was the president, he also set up this national planning committee so that we can develop a plan for the national development, growth and progress. Everything was that. So national planning committee was set up by the Subhash Chandra Bose when he was the president of the Congress, and Jawaharlal Nehru was also the part of this committee. Next thing you should know that yes, these are all the things that you should know. There was the, if the UPSC has asked the question in the mains with respect to the compare the thought of Subhash Chandra Bose and Gandhi, whenever the question such in such a nature comes, you should not think that there was the personal fight. There was some ideological fight, but they respect each other so much. It was the Subhash Chandra Bose who said the Mahatma Gandhi as the Rashtrapita first time. Okay, and it was the Gandhi who said him the prince among the patriots. Okay, so he was the prince among the patriots. No can compare the patriotistic label of the Subhash Chandra Bose. Even Gandhi have given his statement that the patriotism is second to none, and his bravery shines through all his actions. Okay, and he also said that when despite Subhash Chandra Bose didn't able to succeed to get India freedom, he said uh, who has not failed in their life. Okay, and he said that the Netaji will remain the immortal for all the time to come for his service to the India. This is the statement from the Gandhiji. So whenever you are writing your statement, you are you are bringing some of the disagreement where they were not agree, where they wanted to fight directly to the Britishers. The way Gandhiji wanted to fight the Britishers, it was the different. The path was different, but the aim, they wanted to achieve the same goal. So you should bring whenever you are going to write about the Gandhi and Subhash Chandra Bose. Okay. This sixth schedule, it is provided under the constitution, and the sixth schedule provide a special status, autonomy in the region that are brought under the sixth schedule. And sixth schedule, these four states are under the sixth schedule: Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura, and Mizoram. Now the Ladakh is dividing for this sixth schedule status because there is the autonomy and a lot of power is given to this district council, autonomous district council that is provided. So under this sixth schedule, autonomous district council are provided, and this autonomous district council have lot of power. They have power to legislate in different area, local area, and even the law and different rules and legislation of the central government and state government doesn't imply and even imply in this area with the modification from the governor. So yes, you should remember all this thing. They have also financial power. They levy the taxes and fee. Okay, and certain of this area of this judicial function given. This autonomous district are provided with the judicial function. So they have the judicial function, financial function, and the legislative function. So question comes, you should bring all this thing. So this is the thing that you can know about this sixth schedule. Next important news that we are going to take that is relevant for us. Yes, it is from the, I think, science and technology. Before science and technology, let's see if there is any important area that we can cover. Yes, this is important. So this film, this documentary film has nominated for the best documentary features for the 2024 Academic Award. This is also known as the Oscar. Okay. So what is the name of this? To Kill a Tiger. Okay. And under this, this is the poster, and under this there is this movie shows the search for the justice by a mother for her daughter that has been abducted and sexually assaulted by the three men. So she find that yes, initially she gets some of the relief, but after that she got into the very awkward situation, a situation where the society become against her. They deciding to take the case against the FIR she has imposed, she have filed. So this is all about, you should know this, the to kill a tiger. Here the kill a tiger means to kill a devil's demon in the society there are, and yes, this is the all that. Next important news is with respect to this Vaibhav fellow. So you should know this Vaibhav fellow. This is for the to promote the foreign those Indians or the Indian origins or the foreigners to comes into the India. They bring their expertise and their knowledge and do experiment in India. So it is meant to attract Indian origin scientists based abroad for the short-term collaboration. They will be provided for the 3 years to stay in India, and in 3 years they will be also paid a stipend of the 4 lakh a month. Okay, that high. You can understand. This is the level. Anyone 4 lakh a month and accommodation as well. So all 4 lakh will be yours. So anyone who is with the Indian origin from your relative, please ask them. This is the plan that is going on, and they can avail this. This is just to attract the our Indian diaspora and work in the resource area in India. There is similar scheme that is known as the Vajra, Visiting Advanced Joint Research Faculty. So this is also, you should remember, this was started in 2018, and now this Vaibhav fellow is started previous year, 2023. This is all about. Next important news we will take from the science and technology, and this is with respect to the pulsar. So this is very much fascinating when you talk about the black holes, neutron stars, pulsars. So all these things is, you don't have to go because they are so much complicated, but you should know the basics. So what is the basics? When the star dies, it's result into the neutron stars, white dwarf, or the this pulsar. So abrupt and brief increase in the rotation rate of pulsar that has been found. You don't have to go. You have to just confine yourselves to the basics. So the what is the basics is about the James Chadwick that discovered the neutron. Okay. So this first discovery of the pulsar. The name of that pulsar was PSR B99 plus 21. Okay, and it was discovered in 1932. 1932, no, 1967. Okay, something like that. When the neutron was discovered in 1932. Okay, so the basics about that. The neutron was discovered by the James Chadwick, and proton was discovered by the Thomson, and this electrons was no pro, this proton was electron was by the Thomson and proton was by the Rutherford. Rutherford discovered the proton. So the first they discovered the this electron in 1892, something like that. After this, proton was in 1918, 1980 or 1920, something like that, and 1932 it was the so this all discovery was took place before we got the independence. So when the heavy star dies, their cores imploded, blast, and that's why after that, whatever the remaining part is there, if it has is high mass, as per the NASA, the mass should be the around 20 times of the our sun. The sun, you can understand, the sun is so huge, and even after 20 times of the sun's mass will be there. If the star that is exploding, if that has the initial mass of the 20 solar mass, solar 20 times of the sun, then it will be result into the black hole. And if it is around 1.6 time of the solar mass, it will turn into the white dwarf. White dwarf is this 1.6 limit is also known as the Chandrasekhar limit. So you should remember the what is the Chandrasekhar limit. Okay, so otherwise, if it is not turning into the a black hole, and it is between this huge mass and this 1.6 zone, it will be turned into the neutron stars. Okay, so neutron star, and when the neutron start rotating with a high speed, that is known as the pulsar. Rotating neutron star are the pulsar. What is the neutron star? They are the compact, super dense object. Okay, and the core of this is the neutron inside star is the core, and there is the there is the slippery frictionless state that is known as the superfluid. So neutron has the core and the crust. This core is the superfluid, and the crust is made up of the iron-like nuclei. So superfluid, if the question asks that what is the nature of this is a core of the neutron star, this is the superfluid, and this crust is iron-like. This is all about the second important news that we will take is this is again very curious. UPSC test your curiosity. You see these birds and animals, they go thousands of kilometers away from their homes many a times, and they return back. Why? How? We have a lot of things like the GPS. We ask to the people, even we don't are not able to reach other destination, and we have make lot of effort. We have the signboard. Do these boards have the signboard? That's you live in this area of the colony. No, na, but still they return exactly at that place. This is due to the this board has the extrasensory capability, and they sense the Earth magnetic field. Okay, and they align. The magnetic field differs everywhere, and they know that this is the exact magnetic field, and they sense that, and they when they reach with that magnetic field intensity, they get that that's our my home is there. This was proved once in 1988. There was 300 pigeon that was researched under this, and at that particular time, there was the explosion on the surface of the sun, and this disrupted the Earth's magnetic field. And when this pigeon returns to their home, they didn't reach at the exact location. They deviated. So that's why the magnetic field deviated. That's why they deviated. They reached the place where that magnetic field that fixed in their mind, and they fix it in the mind because of their internal magnetic compass. This is in their mind. Okay, so that in their brain, and they notice each of the time when they leave their home and they come back. So this is the main region. This is very interesting, you should know. Next important news, just we will take with respect to the BSF that we already have taken. Last time we took it to about the BSF, we already know all the things that Central government has increased it in the Punjab, Assam, and the West Bengal, the jurisdiction of the BSF from the 15 kilometer to the 50 kilometer. So there is the tussle between state government and the central government. But the thing is that BSF mainly focus on the preventing trans-boundary crime. Okay, so it doesn't have anything to do with the investigation or prosecution. Even whenever they arrest someone, they go to the police, they hand over to the state police. So already they don't encroaching this area. But what is they are doing? They are doing this search and yes, search and seizure thing, search and seizure thing. Okay, so they just do this thing. Okay, and this increase the security level of the state, where is there is the some of the intensity, high intensity uh, cross border crime that increases, or there is the such development. So they generally act in that area. And they also usually work in the coordination with the state police. So this is not the issue. The only issue is that when the central government is going to do, they should have consulted with the state government. After that, this could have been done. So this is concluding line that there ought to be strong reason for the expansion of the jurisdiction of any central force. So this is talking about that as per the Supreme Court judgment, that whenever there is the expansion of this area of the central force into the state jurisdiction, you should give a strong reason. So central government, when this Supreme Court is going to hear this case, the central government need to provide this thing. Okay, what factors out to be? So here, what the center would have to be proved in the Supreme Court, that it have to prove that the center's notification encroach upon the state government. So they have to prove that yes, we are not going to encroach by this extension of this limit. We are not going to encroach into the state's area, as well as what are the factor that is taken that we need to increase this local limits in the area. So you have to give a strong reason that yes, why you have expanded, and the second reason is that this is not going to encroach this area. Next important news is with respect to this Indo-Pacific. So as the development is going in the Indo-Pacific, particularly the Indian Ocean region, when we have found that there has been a Red Sea attacks by the Houthi, but this is not that much cause of concern, as we see that the main cause of concern for the India should be the we do not have the proper policy and the strategy with respect to the Indo-Pacific. A lot of there is the central point. This Indo-Pacific region is despite in the focus point for the discussion, and India also claimed that yes, we represent the Indo-Pacific, but the thing is that we don't have the proper strategy, and same times we look that the China is expanding lot of in this area. So we should be focused on, does India have the maritime grand strategy, despite you are claiming that much, and that goes beyond the occasional firefighting naval exercise and a friendly nation. Means you show that yes, you occasionally doing this exercise and this something saving our ships by the sending our naval ships and war destroyers of the this missiles. This doesn't matter. You should have the proper planning. It shouldn't be occasional. Like in the Red Sea, when there is the attack, we have sent the 10 of the warships, and we are safeguarding, and we are also talking. But the thing is that the way China is expanding, here it has given that the way China is silently expanding its reach. Take the example. The China now has the base in the Djibouti, Gwadar, and Gwadar in the Pakistan, Hambantota in the Sri Lanka, this Kukpu port into the Myanmar. They also now have reached to the Cambodia, Southeast Asian country, Sicily. They have also now growing closer to this. Malay is already in their fold. Okay. So, yes, also in the Comoros. Comoros Okay, so all these places where the expansion of China has been taken, so this all the things is encircling India. So this ring of poles that is going around the India in the Indo-Pacific. So you should locate all these things. Where is the Cambodia, this Reem port, and where is the Comoros? It is near to the Eastern Africa, and this Gwadar and Djibouti. Djibouti, that is the at the Horn of Africa. Djibouti. Okay, so all these things you should locate into the map as well. This is homework for you. Okay, so this is talking already encircling is there, but still India had the chance because this encircling by the Chinese around the Indian Ocean also create the threat for the Europeans and the US, and they don't want. So whenever India will try to uh, extend any of this strategy to counter the China, we will always get the support from this like-minded countries like the Europeans, Australia, Japan, US. So India first need to create, and it should have a cohesive and well thought policy and strategy. Okay, and then it should approach. Recently we saw that India didn't join this US led operation prosperity guardian. You should remember this US led operation prosperity guardian that is going in the Red Sea against the Houthi attack. So, but India should have joined, India should have taken this opportunity so that closeness could have enhanced. But there is the other reason why we didn't accept it, because we didn't wanted to shower our relationship with the Iran and the Middle East, countries of the Middle East. Next important, this news article is associated with the GS paper 3 manufacturing industry, and there was the news that Indian export has been increased a lot. So this is analyzing that why and how this has been increased. Does there has been the capacity building in the India that we have increased that drastic in certain 2 3 years, and what is the reason? So it has found that a rise of import duties could reduce the demand of the toys. Okay, so if the thing is coming from the foreign, and if it is coming from the 10 rupees, if a toy is of the 10 rupees, and you increase the tax, and now it's become the 2 times, 20 rupees. So generally I will not buy. My demand it will decrease, because generally the people cannot have the 2 times, 3 times sudden change in their income. So the one of the reason that is found that we have Indian government has increased this tax revenue for the 60-70%, 20 to 60%, and that's why it has the reduction in the import. First thing. Second thing is that you have also imposed the non-tariff barriers. Non-tariff barriers is not directly the tax, but the different compliance. Means example, you will say that I will not increase the price of this pen, but I will test that whether the person who has made it to not the underage, or this is not the women who is malnourished. Means despite nothing to do with that, you are attaching the social condition. You are not increasing the price. If it is made by the a woman that has unnourished, I will not buy this. Okay. So such type of the if you will impose such thing, so this is known as the non-tariff. Means tax is not imposed, but the other social condition is imposed. That whether you have tested properly or not, whether this has some chemical which impact the local people. Means with respect to the health. If you say that if the toy is coming, and you will say that if it has the some chemical, we will not let it enter into the our territory. So the import will reduce, and that's why if the import will reduce, so despite even the export will not increase that much, but it shows that yes, it has increased. For just let me show that with the example. This article is talking that there was the 200 rupees of the export of the toys, and there was the import of the toys, and there was the 150 rupees of the export. Okay, what we did, we increased the price of this toys that is coming. Price increase, and increase the non-tariff barriers. Non-tariff barrier. I increase this thing. So what will happen? if the price is increased, so the person who was buying here will not buy. So the number of demand will decrease. So entering the thing will reduce. And beside that, if you will prevent by the sum of the non-tariff measures, so again many of the thing will remain here. And now the entry will for the only 100 rupees. So now it was previously it was minus 50. It shows that the import rate was more and export rates were less. But after 3 years, when you do all the things, it shows that yes, the difference between export and import is 50 rupees, but there is no increase in the export. It is due to the decrease in import that has caused this difference. So this is not showing that your increase, your export capability has increased. This article is talking about all about this. That this is the thing that you have increased the import duties and you have increased the non-tariff barriers. Okay, and the increase has been 60%, 70%. In the non-tariff barriers, what you do, you bring the quality control order, mandatory sample testing, means you have to test that the material is right, this is not harmful, all this thing. Means if I will ask the people who is bringing milk to my home, they are bringing 4 packets. So I just take, I believe that yes, everything is right. They have tested, even 1 packet they have tested, 4 packet is fine. Just randomly I will test 1 packet. So the person has convenience. If I ask that please test all 4 packets, so suddenly if I will bring all these rules, the people think that the other person, other household who don't have such restriction, I will go there. Again, if I will increase the tax, that if you are coming to my home to selling this, I will take 10 rupees from you. So already he is giving the product and 10 rupees you are imposing extra. He has to give that 10 rupees. So he will reduce supply to your house. The same is taking place here. So it is not the labor productivity. It is find that the labor productivity had decreased from the 7.5 lakh per workers to the 5 lakh in the last this from the 2015 to the 2020. So it is the protectionism that has limited. Okay, so it is talking that yes, if it is the if you are bringing such rules and law and that reduce the import and you are giving chance to the this domestic player, because if you will reduce the import, domestic player will have the chance that they will produce the same toy and they can sell to the Indian people. So it will increase the productivity. So this is good for the short time. You cannot do it for the longer time. If you will reduce the import without producing less, they will more. They will increase the price of limited pen. If 100 pen is coming from the foreign and 50 pens are manufactured in India, the demand of India is 150. The people want 150 pens. If you reduce this 100, so it will give the chance that the other manufacturer will produce 10, 100 more and can sell. Second thing is also that he will increase the price of that 50 pence and if and increase the competition. The people will rush to buy this pen. It was 100 rupees now, even for the 200 rupees. So it is not benefiting the consumer. It is just benefiting that manufacturer that has the you have created a monopoly due to the reduction in this import. So if you are reducing, it should be only for the increase in the manufacturing. So you should check, you should monitor this whether the this manufacturing is increasing or not. Otherwise, it is the people who cost more. Okay. So this protectionism that you have increased the import duty and other thing, this should be complemented with the investment potential. So you should bring more investment in these factories and also provision of the localized industry cluster specific public infrastructure to stimulate the virtuous cycle. So more money, because at the initial stage the people don't have capacity to open the factories to manufacture. So you need to provide some of the scheme where the accessibility of the money to buy the machine to establish this factory is necessary. So this is all about. Next important news is again talking about the same with respect to the this semiconductors. Government has come up with this semiconductor design linked incentive scheme. But there is the three goals of this scheme: to reduce the dependency on the semiconductor imports, particularly from the China and those areas where they are the very and strategic and emerging sector, because this is very crucial. They can stop the import, they can stop all our manufacturing. If the China tried to harm us, what will he do? He will just stop the semiconductor export. So we want to reduce the dependency on the China. Second thing, we want to bring the resilience. We want to search other destinations from the China. There should be the other country where we can buy it on the reasonable price. And to build supply chain resilience, that is talking about that other alternative, and double down the Indian comparative advantage. Okay, so India's comparative advantage, that if you are bringing in India something, it is more effective. Okay, so you provide the condition here so that this global semiconductor industry player and Indian chip design engineers, they come to India and they try to bring the impetus to the production. There should be the industrial policy that prioritize to ensure that we reap the disproportionate benefit from the our investment. Means if investment is low, so it should be in a such a effective manner that we should be investing in such area that is crucial, that is most important, and the productivity should be the higher. There is the issue with this scheme. This scheme mandates the beneficiary state startup maintain the domestic status for the least 3 years after the receiving incentive, and for this they cannot raise more than 50% of their requisite capital from the foreign direct investment. If you cap that, you cannot get more than 50% from the foreign direct investment in this area. You have to keep it within the 50%. So many a times the person who have the capability, who have the talent, who want to work, but he doesn't have the money, and locally he is not getting money, but the foreigners want to invest in India, so that chance he will not get. The semiconductor research and development usually only pays off for the long time. Means if the investment is for the longer, it is not that today you paid, you invested, and after 2 months you will get the benefit. You have to wait for 2 years, 3 years, many a time 5 years. Then this reach to the that level when the your benefits increase. Initial stage you have to provide the inputs, and such capital requirements combined with the lack of source storage, success storage. Many a times even the investment is there, but the success is not. So people do not. If you find that this industry, if I will invest and my money will not, I will not get back the higher benefit. So people do not generally invest. Okay, so that's why we see that there is failure many a times, and that's why this create the hurdle. Okay, so all this theme, there is the capping in the this funding of the in the absolute money as well. So all this is creating this is creating hurdle. So it is talking about it is there for the crucial to delink the ownership from the development of the semiconductor design and adopt more startup friendly investment. So all this hurdle, that restriction that you have created, please reduce. That is the suggestion. Beside that, one more issue is that this central development advanced computing, centers for the development of advanced computing, uh, it has been made at the nodal agency, but it is also working as the a market player in the Indian chip design sector. So it is the conflict of interest. This will not let the other to grow. The one of the successful example is with respect to Karnataka government has been provided, that there has been a scheme under the semiconductor fabless accelerator lab with its specific partnership with the Indian Electronics and the Semiconductor Association, and the different vendors, EDA vendors and IP and testing companies could be an appropriate blueprint for the complementing agency for the design linked incentive. So this is the example from the Karnataka, you can write whenever you have to conclude on this. Whenever the question comes of the semiconductors scheme, this is scheme. Mm, This is the China civil war is going on. The main ethnic organization that is fighting, just remember that this is the ethnic armed organization, mainly the Tang National Liberation Army, Myanmar National Democratic Alliance Army, and Arakan Army. This is the three ethnic group that is fighting against the junta, the military of the this Myanmar. Next important thing is with respect to the this gap between the income of the those two group, that those who are at the higher level and those who are in the lower level of the income group. Means those who are paying the taxes, between them there is the reduction in the inequality that has been found in the 10 years. But those who are working in the informal sector and low paid domestic as a domestic help or the as the laborer in the field, so they don't have that much reduction in the inequality. So the first thing you should know this Gini coefficient. This is the indicator to show the inequality in the society. If Gini coefficient is 0, means the equality is there in the society. Everyone is equal. And if it 1, then no one is equal. So as the higher the Gini coefficient, inequality is more. As the low and low Gini coefficient is there, there is the equality in the society. In the last 10 years, this SBI has given its report, and the thing is that it has only considered those who are paying the taxes, and those who pay tax, only those who pay the tax is whose income is more than 2.5 lakh per annum. So that's why if it is not representing the exact figure, exact situation, because you have not included those as per this article, those who are lower than those who are not paying the income tax, when those who are lower, their income is lower than this 2 lakh per annum. So it is talking, this article further talking about this periodic labor force survey. As per it, the gap between wage at the lower level was not that much. So it is all giving the facts with respect to that. In the last, it is talking that has been extensively documented. The rise in women's labor force participation has primarily come through the form of low paid part-time and self-employed works. This is the particularly for the women's labor force, and their income is always very much at the bottom side. And yes, there is also that women may be working, but this increase in the low paid self-employed work has led to an increase in the gap between the top and bottom. So number of women, those who are working, despite that has increased, but the gap is not. Gap has also increased because they are at the lower level. They are just earning for the 100 rupees, 200 rupees on the monthly basis, not on a daily basis. On the monthly basis, it could be the 10,000. But those at higher level, they are earning in the lakhs and the crores. So the gap is very high. The way their wage increasing means if a software engineer working in some company, if the increase in their salary is from the 1.5 lakh to the 2 lakh, but at the lower level, the increase in the salary of this domestic help or the workers working in the field, it is from the 200 to the 220, 230, 250 maximum. So this is not that much. Next important thing is this again, the survey that has brought with the education of the children's. So here it is talking that yes, at the lower stage, at the primary level, the enrollment of the women's and men's, male girls and the boys is the same. But as the the class and grade increases, the dropout of the women is very much. It is due to the some of the this women's issue, such as the gender stereotype correlated with the biological factors such as the adolescent. So that's why when their age increases and their grade in the classes increases, that increases. Okay, there is the National Achievement Survey that shows that at the initial level, this boy, parity of learning level boys and girls elementary second class arose across the country. Okay, so here it has shows that as the elementary level, the performance in the maths for the girls and boys is same. Means they have the same outcomes, but later the withdrawal from the schools and colleges is high for the girls. Recently, we have seen that the mean years of the schooling across the India has increased, but it is not increased as per the boys' number of the average year of schooling has increased. Take this for the women's, it is from the 1.7 to 4.7. Means it is just for the 3 points. If you reduce 1.7 from the 4.7, it will 3. But here it is from the 4 to 8.2, 4.1. So this increase, the gap is also more. So now the gap is very high. Okay, so this is here. This has provided here. Beside that, it has given that yes, different level of their drop rate. Beside that, it has also shown that the more boys than the girls tends to enroll in the private institution. Means parents always try to enroll their boy children more as compared to the girls, because they think that they have the in mental this discriminatory stereotyping that women's we don't need to pay for the women's because we are going to marry after the marriage the house will change for the women, but the boy children will remain with us. That's why they spend more on the boys as compared to the women. This is all about. This has given the different data. Yes, and this has also given the socialization impact that the at the very initial stage, at the age of the 7, the boys and women start knowing that yes, this is the area where girls need to work. Like the girls need to work in the household thing, have to cook, have to clean the house, take care of the family members, and the means also have the separate. This start with the age of the 3 and 7. So this is the socialization you can write in the society where this is start. You can use in the ethics paper as well. Okay, so nature of the job, all these things start coming to the mind at the very initial stage. So what the suggestion that has been given by this writer is that we should start, we need to work on this Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. Here we need to more funding and external label roadmap. Beside that, we need to implement this national education policy because there is also, they want universal early childhood education. Okay, so through this women's higher level of education will reduce the poverty, and it will reduce the infant mortality, crime, and it will also improve the economic development. Okay, overall economic development, because this will impact whole family. So all that we have covered, this is all about the today's session. I hope that I have covered most of the area. And yes, please revise again. We will provide the revision notes. Revise and please also try to attempt the question that is provided. Start writing your mains answer on a daily basis that we are providing. And yes, thank you for joining this session. All the best. Jai Hind.